What is their next move? So with this full moon energy illuminating truths, let's take a look at what's being revealed in your connection, and more importantly, what is their next move toward you, if any. So Spirit, for the viewer, the person that they're thinking of, what is that person's next move toward you? So for those of you that know that you're spiritually gifted, but maybe you're struggling to bring it into a grounded real world business, then my in-person mentorship is happening this February in the UK. And there's just a few places that are still available. And this is by application only. You can find the link within my bio. So bottom of the deck, we have got the Four of Cups. We have got the Queen of Wands, we have the Chariot, we have the Hierophant, and we have Justice. Three major arcana. How interesting. These are very significant cards, and I would say that there is this strong sense of accountability and also that of forward motion. This Queen of Wands, it shows that they deeply admire your energy. They admire your confidence, your magnetism, your power, and they are certainly feeling pulled to match that energy. So overall, it feels like they're stepping into this alignment and they're taking this very seriously and considering what action to take next. Let's go through each of the cards. So let's start here with the bottom of the deck energy, which is this Four of Cups. Now this is quite an uncomfortable card for me to look at. So when I'm looking at cards, I don't just see the image, I actually feel the energy from it. And this feels like a very familiar story, and I wonder if any of you may also feel this. So we can see that there's one figure that is gazing away. They're lost in thought, or maybe there's this indifference, and there's this other that kneels beside them, and you can see this one beside them is yearning for connection and attention and acknowledgement. And maybe this was you once. Maybe at some point in this connection, you were the one giving more than you received. You were holding on, you were hoping, maybe even pleading for scraps of their energy. And you gave all of your light in the hopes that they're going to notice and in hopes that they would stay. And it's a very humbling place to be. And if you've been there, you know exactly what this picture is trying to show you. But what's really profound here is that I don't feel that this is your energy anymore at all. This is a card that's showing up now under this full moon to reflect not who you are today, but who you used to be. So this is the version of you that's been eclipsed. A version that once believed that love had to be earned through sacrifice or through this self-abandonment. And it also says something about them, that maybe they did not see you clearly when they had this opportunity. Maybe they looked away at the very moment that they were meant to look closer. And now there's something about this dynamic that has shifted. And you're not begging and you're not hoping to be chosen, because you've chosen yourself. And that shift, that reclamation, is really activating something in them that they did not expect to feel. And this card is not just a card of sorrow or loss, it can be a card of awakening, where the person who once looked away really begins to wonder what they've done and what they've missed. And under this full moon, this light hits both of you very differently. So I feel within this, you are now this beautiful, beautiful Queen of Wands. The most beautiful, the most magnetic, and the most serene of all of the queens. In this particular deck, you can see that she is in this field of chamomiles. So there's this very beautiful, calm energy about you. Chamomile is often one of those herbs or tinctures that you reach for when your nervous system is shot, when the heart has really taken on too much, and when you need this gentleness. So this field of chamomile, it tells me something. It tells me that you've created peace inside yourself. Now, the thing about the Queen of Wands is that she does not need to prove her worth. She simply embodies it. She's very magnetic by nature. And what happens is the world then starts to turn towards her. People notice, opportunities appear, even the one who maybe had overlooked you here. And, they begin to feel your absence very gravely. So you're very radiant, you're very purposeful, you're unbothered. You might have gone through a glow up physically, emotionally, spiritually, and other people can feel it and see it. So what you've done is you've taken all of the energy that you used to give away and you've called it home. And in doing so, you've really, really remembered who you are. So this card doesn't say that you're just healing, it shows that you are completely transformed. And under this full moon, that transformation is really being illuminated for all to see, especially the one who maybe did not see you before. Now, from this, I see a possible story split. So we're going to go over version 1 right now. And traditionally, this Chariot card is a card that speaks about personal will. It talks about movement. It talks about decisive action. There's usually only one rider within it. And it's talking about the two opposing forces, to rein in. But in this deck, we see two people in the Chariot. And this isn't just about your direction anymore. It's about who's coming with you and who's not. So like I say, I feel like there's two very clear narratives that are emerging here. The first is that you've already made your choice and you are going to be moving forward with somebody new, or at least toward a life that no longer includes the person who once could not see you. Because you're not stuck anymore. You're not stuck in longing. You're not waiting anymore. You've climbed into this carriage of your own creation and you've waved goodbye. You can see, look, in this card, she's waving goodbye. Almost looks like they're married. Back in the day, they used to have these going away outfits and people would come up to wave them away. That's what this card always reminds me of. And this is you maybe waving goodbye to that old version of yourself or to this particular situation, the one who kind of begged to be chosen. And you're headed toward the life that you desire. Can you see there's even this palace? It looks like a fairy tale type of ending for you. So yes, for some of you, this Chariot comes with a partner, a committed one. Maybe even a legal marriage, because the Justice card and the Hierophant cards do suggest that. And this time, you're not riding solo anymore. You are very much riding sovereign with all of this. And the one who's now watching on the sidelines, they're the one that now sees. But it might be too late. So that is absolutely one version that I see here. But the second storyline very much goes back to the question that was originally asked as to what are their next actions towards you. And, these cards, they show a glimpse of what they wish they could be part of. The Chariot becomes the metaphor for their desire to catch up, to close that distance, to really move toward you, but only if they're willing to choose decisively. Because there's no more energy of waiting. There's this energy of movement, of alignment, and of grown-up choices. So whether you're already in motion or whether they're preparing to follow, the Chariot is this message of momentum. And in either version of the story, you are the one who's no longer standing still. So we're going to continue with storyline 2, the one where they still might try and come forward. So we're going to have a look at this Justice card. And to me, I see this as some sort of unfinished promise. So justice isn't about right and wrong. It is often to do with energetic alignment. It's often about soul level contracts and the ones that were made before either of you ever came into this particular lifetime. So when this card appears, especially in the context of love, It's rarely simply about earthly justice. It speaks about something much higher, some sort of promise, some sort of reckoning. And what's powerful here are that the scales are perfectly balanced. That is not always the case in the Justice card. And this tells me that if there was once unequal effort or one-sided devotion or avoidance of responsibility, the universe is now calling things back into alignment. Now, the other thing that I'm really noticing is the sword. So this is known as the sword of truth, and it is not raised as it often is. Usually it's pointing up in the upward direction. You can see that it's planted in the earth, and that changes the meaning of everything. So when a sword is raised, it speaks about protection, it speaks about defense, it speaks about confrontation. But when the sword is placed in the ground, it becomes a marker of peace. So it could be a declaration, but one that comes with maybe humility, maybe with reflection, and with the understanding that truth doesn't always need to be super loud. So this person, if they come forward, I don't think they're coming in to fight. I don't think they're trying to kind of like win anymore if there's been arguments before you. It's the energy of someone really coming in with honesty and wanting to be accountable. So maybe if you've been waiting for some sort of conversation or a moment of closure that just feels clean, then justice tells me it's on the way. But it's only if that person is brave enough to approach you. But going back to the question of their next actions could be coming in with some sort of truthful conversation and communication. So the Justice card and the Hierophant, they actually have some overlapping meanings. So we talked about soul contracts here in the spiritual realms, the higher realms. And when it comes to the Hierophant, it talks about those promises and how they become real in the physical existence. So, these soul contracts are beautiful in theory, but the Hierophant really asks, what are you going to do with those soul contracts in the here and now, in the physical realm? So this card is really all about translating the spiritual into the tangible. And it's about honoring divine guidance through the physical actions, kind of almost like the bridge of heaven and earth between what was agreed in the soul realm and what is chosen now in the body, in the life, and in the relationship. And this is where it gets really powerful. So in the context of this reading, especially when we pair it with the Justice, the Hierophant just isn't hinting at the spiritual connection, it's pointing to some sort of commitment in the 3D world. And we're talking about marriage, about living together, about sharing finances, public partnership, anything that represents devotion with structure here. So it can also signify counseling when two people are trying to align again. It can talk about mentorship when someone is seeking wisdom to figure out what went wrong, or the guidance of a higher force leading two people back together, but only if both are willing to take this sacred responsibility. So this is about real decisions. So if they are coming forward, this really isn't about breadcrumbs. It's some sort of proposal, not necessarily of marriage, but it is one of intention. This feels highly elevated and a long, long, long way from where this card started out. So huge evolution, some sort of quantum jump that might be happening within these circumstances. Of course, as always, this is a collective reading and therefore it's not meant to resonate with everyone. So please listen to your own intuition to see whether this is your story. If you would like your own private reading, then there are a number of different availabilities to you. There is a same-day reading that is returned to you within 24 hours, or there is a soul contract reading where we could look at the soul contracts between you to see whether you are meant to be coming together in this life. You can find all of my services by going to the link in my bio here. And if you scroll here, then you will see all of my tarot readings that are available there. And then, like I say, for those of you that know you have spiritual gifts and you're wanting to use them in the real world, then there is this mentorship in person in the UK in February, and I do have a couple of spots that are left. It is by application only, and we're going to be staying at a beautiful, beautiful English manor house. It's not something that I offer very often. So if this is something that intrigues you or you feel pulled towards, then I do invite you to apply.